This first one, though, was kind of a last-minute match because they both had different fights.
Yeah.
Daniel D-Rod Rodriguez versus Dwight Grant. Both had, as of this morning, different opponents. After the weigh-ins, there's something going on. We've talked about it a few times. Those guys, their opponents aren't fighting anymore. So now you have Dwight Grant versus Daniel Rodriguez. Daniel Rodriguez, he's an American. He's 12-1. He went 7-0 as an amateur, and he's 2-0 in the UFC, and that's not including his time on The Ultimate Fighter, where he won a decision. Most recently, he beat Gabe Green by decision, and Dwight Grant, he's an American as well. He's 10-2, 6 feet 1 inches tall, 35 years old, and he made his way into the UFC also through Dana White's Contender Series, where he knocked out Tyrell Hill in the second round. Since then, 2-1 in the UFC, currently on a 2-fight win streak, most recently defeating Alan Jobin by split decision. What do you think about these guys?
So immediately, Daniel has a boxing background. He didn't really get into MMA until after he got out of prison.
Yeah.
He's fought in Combate Americas a lot there. But now he's an Eddie Bravo jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah, he went 5-1 in Combate Americas.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he is.
And he looked good doing it. Guy. And like I said, now he's an Eddie Bravo guy.
10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, represent.
Yeah. So. Yeah. When you look at his boxing, you could tell he's got a boxing background as well. He has this really nice snapping jab that he just throws out there, and it's quick, and it pops you a good power behind it. It's just, you're getting hit with that jab before you even see it coming.
And we've seen that a good jab can be very effective in MMA.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been, arguments from people about how whether or not traditional boxing really works well in MMA, or whether it translates well in MMA. It's the same thing we have with karate and kung fu and all these other things. What sports really translate well? People have said that a jab doesn't really translate well into MMA. We've seen it recently coming from more and more fighters.
Oh, yeah.
Colby Covington. If you got a good jab, the problem is that a lot
GSP used the jab.
GSP.
All the time.
The problem that we have with a lot of our fighters in the UFC is none of them really have that great of a jab. So oftentimes when they're using it, you're not seeing a real great jab.
Yeah, no, Daniel Rodriguez has a great
jab.
He's never been finished in his 13-fight career. Never been finished. So his losses that he does have is he has his one loss I think he has is a split decision loss to Victor Reina. And if that name sounds familiar to you, it's because he just lost on the Contender Series on Tuesday to
the brother.
One of those guys we just saw. We just talked about it, dang it.
I don't remember which one it was.
We just talked about it.
One of the brothers. He just lost to one of the twin brothers, the Kosi brothers.
Yeah. Either way,
I can't remember.
I mean, on the Contender Series, so that's his lone loss. It's a split decision loss, too, that he arguably could have won. So, when we're looking at that, the only negative I guess I could say about him is maybe his cardio. If you watch his last fight versus Gabe Green, actually, he kind of slows down a little bit when he gets to that second round. Maybe it could be because of the volume that he throws within the first round. But he still went on to win that fight.
Yeah.
So,
he won a decision in that fight.
And the third round, though, Green came on strong. And that was partly because Rodriguez slowed down a bit.
He gassed a little bit there. But he also does have a second-round submission over Tim Means with that standing guillotine.
Beautiful submission. He was peppering Means in that fight. And Means, if you watch that fight, he kind of starts covering up a little bit because he just keeps getting hit with these punches. And it was the jab that I was talking about, that lightning quick jab. He just throws that out there. Bop, bop. And then eventually, he hit Means with a good one. Means just kind of covered up, and he grabbed him with a standing guillotine.
Yeah. Yeah. Choked him out.
It was great, man.
Yeah, that's D-Rod right there. But Dwight Grant, like we said, 2-1 in the UFC. He had a first-round knockout over Carlo Pietrosoli as well in the UFC. And he also has a win in Bellator. So he beat Dom Muhammad in Bellator as well before ever coming to the UFC. Total, though, he's got 7 knockouts and he has 3 decisions. Both of his losses come by decisions as well.
Yeah.
So both of these guys, neither of them have been finished.
Right.
Neither of these guys have been finished at all, and they both have a lot of knockouts. So I think we're going to see another stand-up fight here.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm pretty excited about it. I think these guys are going to slug it out. I'm not sure that anybody's going to sleep, though. I think that they've both proven that they can take a punch, and I think that they've both proven that they're hard to knock out. and I have Daniel Rodriguez ending up winning a decision here.
Yeah, so for me, this one was, it was a last minute. We literally just had to throw these two together coming into this, right?
Yeah.
But when I look at Dwight Grant, he throws really, really powerful shots. And he had a favorable matchup in his last fight because he stands orthodox. And he has this really nice body kick that he throws with a ton of power. And he was fighting a southpaw,
Yeah.
which was perfect for him. The only issue that I do have with Grant is when he does throw outside of his kick, he leaves his chin up a bit when he throws his punches, which is not going to be good for a guy
Not against a
who's
boxer.
a high-level boxer like Daniel Rodriguez. So for me, I think Rodriguez is going to catch that chin in the second round.
All right.
TKO.
TKO round 2.